Well, hi everybody, how are you tonight? Gosh, it's good to see you guys. So Tamara, I saw that message that you sent something. So while I'm chatting to everybody, I'll put it in preview mode and pull that up so I can pull Tamara's and so ask everybody, how is everybody? It has been a gorgeous sunny day here, and there it is. Okay, 1, 2, 3. See if I can get all those in on Tamara's. 1. There's 1. Yes, so while you're watching me do this, while I'm talking to you, I am in the background pulling in pictures for Tamara's and that, and then there. Ooh, I'm getting good at that. Yay. Pretty good at that. Yes, pretty good. Anyway, it's been a gorgeous day here. Things went more smoothly today, thank goodness. We got some things taken care of, ordered a new hard drive, got the other one sent off to Western Digital so it could be taken a look at, and well, that should do what I need to do, so I'm not going to worry about it. Anything else is coming and getting all checked off. So hi, Helen is here, and Tamara is here, yay. Linda, yes, is here, excellent, good, everybody's here. Auto-incorrect strikes again, I know. Autocorrect is just ridiculous, and I don't need 2 of me on there. I can get rid of that one. There we go. Yes, and mentally, long story, yeah. It's amazing how a night's sleep, kind of everything gets put in. I started sorting out little details. For example, this is a simple detail. My cameras run on lithium batteries. You can't carry lithium batteries on the plane. They have to be checked. But in the fine print, there is a limit of how much you can take in a lithium battery. So you actually can have a lithium battery if it doesn't exceed the maximum. See, that was a real concern because I could just imagine something not getting to me and then having my camera with me but no batteries because I didn't pack the batteries. So that's the way that was. So that worked out. The batteries are within the limits. I can take a couple of them on the plane with me in my carry-on baggage and not be worried about it. Check. Yep. And I did a whole lot of sketching last night, which you guys are going to see. I did a whole lot of sketching to ease through all the stress. Yes. Helen, I think, usually puts her videos. Helen, don't you normally put yours on Facebook? Isn't that where they show? And there's Julia. Oh, Julia, thank you for sending the videos of your trip to Gambia. That was really cool. And the pictures. Where did that come from? They were my first try at doing fluid art pours. Those are your... Okay, I'm hanging in there. Oh my goodness. Chit chat. Nope. No crabbies right now, just plain water. You can draw, Julia. We have evidence and proof that you can. So, all right, let me see. Just a sec. Just a sec. Whose is that? Oh, that needs to go down there. And this one. There we go. One. Okay. I just had to get this up here. So, okay. Got it. So now I have ready to show you guys what we had. So we got some art today. Julia, Gail's here. Hi, Gail. Yay. There's Larry and Tamara and Julia and Linda. Miss Kitty. Hi, Angie, if you're here too. Lupe, if you're in the background. Hi, how you doing? Goodness gracious. And it's a package for Crunchberry's Playhouse. I said something. Oh, Julia, if it was you that sent something. Oh, I got something in the mail today. So that's why we have the, you've got Snail Mail title for today, because I got something in the mail from one of you guys. And of course it didn't tell me who, but that's what's going to be shown to the book tonight. And I kind of wrapped everything around that. But we're going to start off with everybody's artwork. Doing it, I think I got the alphabet right, so that means I went first on this one. So flat out, after I got off the live last night, I grabbed my sketchbook and my pencil and pens and grabbed, I didn't have a Crabby, I grabbed a cider, and I went and sat and we watched Glow Up, which is like a makeup a show on Netflix, and America's Got Talent, mindless kind of thing stuff, and I sketched for hours. Because that was the only thing I could do. And I'd seen this gal named on Painted Willow art, and she did things based on a triangle. And I had done one before, so I went at it, and I came up with different ideas. So first off, we have the bunny that I did first, which is kind of crazy. That was based on Painted Willow's idea. And then I had to try it to see what else I could do by starting just with the that kind of fat triangle, rounded triangle is how I started them all. So let's see. Let me just get a camera of, there we go. Oops, I make it round so I can talk. Little squircle. There we go. Okay, so that is what I just had a good time with that. The cat and the mouse, and then the cheese in between them, and the bunny. So that was one. And then the next one, Bob said, do a penguin. So I did a penguin over here. The penguin went crazy. The penguin went crazy. I mean, it's all in the rocks. It's got a little baby penguin underneath it. There's a seal on the icebergs in the back. There's other penguins on another iceberg. I just kind of went nuts on that one. I couldn't stop. Finally, I went to bed and finished with that one. And then today, Bob suggested some fox. So I came up with, I kind of looked online to see some simple drawings, and I came up with two different ideas. One was the plain triangle started, and then the other one was the triangle body, but then I put a different kind of fox head. So you got your bat-eared fox and your other kind of fox. So that was my doodling today, or today was the fox. The other guys were yesterday. Yes. Hello, Angie. Can you see me? The cat boots, I'm guessing. Photo's cool. Yes, your elephant in progress is coming up, and I think is next. Yes, elephants in progress. Work in progress. She says she ran out of eraser. Oh my gosh. That's great. You know, if this is where you've gotten from 2 circles, you're doing a great job, Julia. Really good job. Oh, you posted a short on Facebook. Okay. Helen posted it. And yes. And then, so where she's like me, she starts with the circles and all that things and then erases the parts. But you run out of eraser that way really fast. Nice job. Nice. Next we have, these are Linda's. Yes, these are Linda's pores. She has a couple pores here. There's like a couple, 3 pages she sent me some things of. And also these 2 pores, really pretty. I like that turquoise bit in there. The one on the right side, it almost has a jellyfish look to it. Kind of, at least from what I see. Very cool. And there's another pour, and you have to tell us what is with the drum. You sent me the email and it just had the pictures and no explanation of why the drum. I don't get it. Did you make the drum? That would be very cool. I took a drum making class one time. That was a lot of fun. But I love this. I love the blues in this one with the black background on that. Very cool. So does she say why the drum? Cat space. Is your audio's in and out? Let's see. Where's my? That's okay. It should be okay. Okay. Let's see. Input. Let's see if it gets better with that. See if it sounds a little better with that one. Anyway, and so she's saying, Penguin plays drums for Santana, I'm pretty sure. That's because it's a macaroni penguin. On the one that I did. Macaroni penguins have those crazy hair things that stick out all over the place, and they have they're like a yellow orange almost. And Linda, yes. No, we're at Linda's. I sent in pics, but not my art. It's the reason I sent you that library lil. Oh. Oh, okay. We got one for, okay, we got there, and then, hang on. So I'll put Larry's in right before the book because it'll make perfect sense of why he sent me the book that we're reading tonight. Yeah. And then here we have Tamara's. Tamara says that these are her first 3 pours that she did at the beginning of this year, was it? These are some of my first pours I did earlier this year. Now remember, these are my first I did. Seriously? Those are your first? Oh my goodness. We should all have something so good for our first. Sorry. I couldn't resist. That was bad. Anyway, that's amazing. These are amazing. Look at that, the color choice and the lacing, and I love this one. It looks like mountains and the sea. Oh, it's just awesome. Very cool. Okay, now let me get Larry's. While you're looking at that, I'm going to get Larry's. Bring him up and then put that picture right in there. Oh, whoa. Okay. Okay. And we will go next to a picture that Larry sent, which is why he sent the book. Yeah, a Harley. So the book I'm reading tonight is a book called Library Lil that I had on my wish list, and I have wanted this book for so long, and it's been hard to find, and it wasn't in the library, and Larry sent it to me. Yay! It's a great book. Suzanne Williams, the author, is a fellow librarian. She, I believe, worked in Federal Way, and I'll tell you all the story that I know, some of the backstory to go with this book when I read it tonight. So I think I'll start with that one, but that's that. So the stories tonight, I have 2 stories, which, by the way, first off, great job on the art. Thanks, you guys, for sending them in and that we get to share these. It's awesome. I love seeing all that you're doing. Keep going. It's just so inspirational for all of us to see what everybody likes to do. So the book that I'm reading, the first one I think I'll read, is a book called Library Lil. And let's see. Yeah, right there. I'll go right here. There. Library Lil came out, oh gosh, in 1997. And it came out before I took over as the librarian at Salem Woods. I was still teaching in the classroom in 1997. But shortly after it came out, I was at a book conference and heard about this book and heard the story behind it and all kinds of things. And I knew, and then I decided to go into the library, become a librarian, and met Suzanne and all this kind of stuff. And it was just a fun thing to have. So let me get onto her page right here. So there. So Suzanne Williams, the children's authors, she says she doesn't remember ever wanting to be a writer when she grew up. I just like to read. So imagine my surprise when long after my first few books were published, my mother unearthed an old elementary school report card. And I read these comments by my 5th and 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Hall. Susie has a good command of the English language and a flair for creative writing. I hope she will continue to do creative writing as I and the students have especially enjoyed her talents in this area. She grew up in Eugene, Oregon, went to college at the University of Oregon. Go Ducks. That's my daughter's school. I don't normally say go Ducks, but I have to. Bryn ran track there. Where I graduated with a bachelor's degree in sociology and a master's in library science. Her husband and she moved to Renton, Washington, near Seattle, after she finished college. She didn't start writing children's books until she'd been a librarian for 10 years and had children of her own. Her husband is a principal trombonist for the Pacific Northwest Ballet Orchestra, and they have 2 adult children, 2 granddaughters, and 1 grandson. She says, by the way, there are 2 Suzanne Williams who write for children. Her books are all fiction, and the other one, Suzanne Morgan Williams, is nonfiction. And the illustrator that for this book is Stephen Kellogg. And if you remember, let's see, is it? Oh, I forgot. Here. Stephen Kellogg is the author of the Pinkerton books. Let's just see if I can find all books. Let's see, all of this list of books. Tons of books he's done. He is done the Pinkerton. He's done, oh gosh, so many other things. I can't even remember all of them. He's such a popular illustrator. Oh, he did The Day Jimmy's Boa Ate the Wash, and all the Jimmy's Boa books and stuff. But he is such a popular illustrator that if you're selected to have your book illustrated by Stephen Kellogg, it almost is a guarantee that it's going to be a bestseller. He does not illustrate books other than his own. He chooses like one a year or every 18 months to select to illustrate that's not his own book. He's won numerous awards. I think he got the Caldecott for something. I know I listened to him one time. I was at a lecture that he came to, and he's a great illustrator, but boy, he wasn't it was hard to stay awake during his speech. But in terms of illustration, he's just absolutely amazing. But the story behind Library Lil and this book is that he was not the original illustrator for this book. The publisher, it actually had been chosen to be illustrated by another illustrator with the particular publishing company. And Suzanne was fine with that. She was all excited. She was very pleased. The person had gotten through all the illustrations, had done them all, and then Stephen Kellogg saw this and said, "Oh, I like that book. I'd like to illustrate that." And the publisher completely flipped and went another direction, went with Stephen Kellogg instead of this other illustrator. That's how big of a draw of a name he is. It was an early book for Suzanne, and it was probably what helped to push it up to the top of the charts at the time. But still, I can't imagine being that other illustrator. Oh. But anyway, so there's the motorcycle. And why Larry sent me the picture of the motorcycle. But here we go, you guys. Library Lil by Suzanne Williams, illustrated by Stephen Kellogg. She's carrying all these encyclopedias. I bet you think all librarians are mousy little old ladies, hair rolled up in a bun, beady eyes peering out at you over the tops of those funny half glasses, an index finger permanently attached to their lips, mouthing, "Shh." Bet you never heard about Library Lil. Lil wasn't always a librarian. She was a kid first, just like most people. Lil in the tub, 1 year old. She's got a book. Lil in secondhand Rose, 3 years old. Lil on the soccer field, 5 years old. And Lil builds Fort Rose, at 7 years old. Architecture for kids. Like most kids, Lil had a wild imagination. She loved to read. She imagined herself the hero of every book. She checked out of the library, and by the time she was 8, she read all the books in the children's room. Yes, Lil was a fast reader, and she had all the most powerful, strong arms too. When the 3rd grade soccer ball got stuck under the principal's car, Lil retrieved it. Her strength might have come from carrying all those books around, for when Lil ran out of children's books, she started in on encyclopedias. Let me see something. Just gonna check the comments real quick. They disappeared. Okay. Oh, there's G. Albert. Hey, hi, G. Albert. Oh my goodness. You guys, welcome G. Albert. He's a friend of mine from a lot of other live streaming things. He's here in the chat. Welcome to Story and Art, G. Albert. Hey, nice to have you here. Anyway, so here we are back. Her strength might have come from carrying all those books around, for when Lil ran out of the children's books, she started in on encyclopedias. She used to check out a whole set at once. She'd walk around the street reading the A volume, held open in one hand, while she balanced the remaining volumes on the other palm of the other hand. She'd turn pages with her teeth. So it was no surprise to anyone when Lil grew up and became a librarian, landing a job in the nearby town of Chesterville. The townspeople soon dubbed her Library Lil. Now, Lil's specialty was storytelling, but when she advertised a story time in the local newspaper, no one showed up. And when she posted a list of the fantastic new books she had ordered, no one came to check them out. It was clear that the people of Chesterville were not avid readers. Television was their favorite form of entertainment, and Lil did not approve of TV. Devil's invention, she called it. Keep folks away from good books. To Lil's way of thinking, TV was an evil that ranked right up there with poison ivy and mosquitoes. She knew she had her work cut out. One horrible, stormy night, the wind blew down some power lines. The whole town of Chesterville was plunged into darkness, and TVs popped off like flashbulbs. This was the chance Lil had been waiting for. She fought her way through the driving rain to the town's ancient bookmobile, battling 80-mile-an-hour winds that threatened to carry her away like a feather in an updraft. Unfortunately, that old bookmobile had been sitting idle too long. Its battery was deader than a pickled herring. But did that stop Library Lil? Oh, no. Up and down the street she went, pushing that bookmobile ahead of her just like a baby carriage. This story is wonderfully written in the same format as these old great tall tales. By the end of the night, every man, woman, and child in Chesterfield was reading a book by the flickering light of a candle. The power was out for almost 2 whole weeks, by which time the townspeople had solidly formed the habit of reading. Suddenly, folks were borrowing more books than they had in the entire 50 years since the library had been built, and there was standing room only for Lil's story time. Now, not long after the storm, a motorcycle gang rode into town. The leader of the gang was Bust 'em Up Bill. He was a towering 6'7", and when he took off his jacket to play pool, he revealed a skull and crossbones tattoo that would scare the wool off a sheep. Now, at first, Lil took no notice of Bill and his gang than a duck would of rain. She was only interested in readers, and they kept her plenty busy at the library since the storm. So when Bill and his gang hustled pool at the local tavern, Library Lil checked out books. It wasn't long before Bust-em-up Bill found out about Lil, though. You see, he had a habit of watching professional wrestling on Tuesday nights. So when Tuesday night rolled around, Bill expected to watch his favorite program. "Where's the dang TV?" he yelled at the bartender. Don't have one, sir," said the bartender. "Nobody in town watches it much anymore. Too many good books to read." "No one around here watches TV?" Bill roared. "What's the matter with you folks?" And the bartender chuckled nervously. Lil's made us all into readers." "Readers?" Bill laughed. It was not a pleasant sound. He faced his gang. "Did you hear that? These lily-liver cowards read books!" The way he said books left no doubt to him it was the filthiest word in the English language. "Who is Lil?" He spat the words out like bullets. Our librarian?" squeaked the bartender. "Where is she?" growled Bill. The bartender cringed. She'll be parking her bookmobile across from the library in about 10 minutes, sir." Bill stomped toward the door. "Let's go," he grunted to his gang. When Lil arrived, she found the parking lot filled with motorcycles and surly bikers. "Move your bikes," she called. "You're blocking my parking space." "Tough cookies, sister," said Bill. "It's your fault I'm missing my favorite TV show." "Listen," Lil said, "I don't want trouble, just move the bikes." And the gang stood their ground. "All right," said Lil. "If you won't move them, I guess I'll just have to move them for you." "Did you hear that?" Bill shouted to his gang. "She'll move them for us. Sister, if you could do that, why, I'll... Bill glanced at the bookmobile. "I'll read a book," he finished. It was the worst thing he could think of. Lil grinned. She flexed her skinny muscles, and then she stooped down, reaching under one of the motorcycles. Straightening, she suddenly hoisted the motorcycle with one hand and tossed it into the street. It cost her little more effort than flinging an apple core. Bust-em-up Bill and his gang watched with their jaws hanging down as Lil threw motorcycle after motorcycle onto a stack, reaching toward the moon. When she cleared the parking lot, Lil drove the bookmobile on in. Then she climbed down and headed toward the library's front door. "All right, boys," she called out. "I'm open for business." Bill's boys tried to sneak away, but Bill hauled them up to their collars. "Not so fast," he growled. "We're all getting books. If anyone tries to leave without them, you're going to be reminded why my name's Bust-em-up Bill." It wasn't long before every man in Bill's gang was reading away. Of course, some of them hadn't learned too well in school, so Lil gave them some easier books to begin on. Several of the guys got into a fight over who was going to be the first to check out the mouse and the motorcycle. Fortunately, Lil found some extra copies and calmed things down. The Mouse and the Motorcycle, Beverly Cleary, one of her best. Last time I was over to Chesterville, they've added a new wing to the town library. Seems Lil's been busier than ever. She had to take on a library assistant to help out. The new assistant's a big fellow. The townspeople call him Bookworm Bill. The kids thinks he's a whale of a storyteller, but then he learned from a master. Since Bill's been on the job, Lil says there hasn't been a single overdue book. I think she's kind of sweet on the guy. Says she's even taken to watching a little of the Devil's Invention, particularly on Tuesday nights. And there's that. Here it says, Suzanne Williams, she's been a children's librarian for nearly 20 years. She can't lift a motorcycle one-handed, but folks say she does have does a fantastic story time. I know that she is not teaching anymore. Her books include My Dogs Never Say Please, which is a hilarious book, illustrated with Ted Arnold. Ted Arnold is the author illustrator that I read that did Parts. And Mommy Doesn't Know My Name. And then Stephen Kellogg says has written and illustrated more books than there are parts of a motorcycle. His most recently illustrated dial book, Snuffles and Snouts, poems selected by Laura Robb. And he also has done The Christmas Witch, The Mysterious Tadpole, Can I Keep Him, all the Pinkerton books, all the Rose books, so many books. But that is Library Lil. One of my favorites, and thank you, Larry. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Yep, there. I know, because you must have town. Who? Where's Linda? Oh, Music Man. Yes, Gail, when are you sending in pictures? Yes, we need something. So what we're talking about, G. Albert, is that sometimes once or twice a week, people that are watching send in the artwork that they've been working on, and I put it into the show, and we get to look at what everybody's doing and what we've been working on. Oh, yes, Knives Out. Crazy. Laughed my head off in that one, Tamara. I couldn't believe it. This calendar is... How long is it? Okay, I have to go look at Helen's calendar. Helen, would you email that to me or at least a picture or the link or something? Or Larry, maybe you can put the link in the chat, then I can find it. Yep. So anyway, is Kelly here? Did I see? Yes, she's here. Hey, Miss Kelly, nice to have you here. How are you? Got here. Unfortunately, the phone just keeps freaking ringing. Oh, no. Yeah, fortunately, I had to figure out how to put mine on Do Not Disturb during this time. So, before I forget, you guys, I'm still doing tomorrow night, but watch the time. It's set for 6:30. If I have to delay it, I might, because I'm going to the Ansel Adams exhibit tomorrow up at Mohi. It's in Seattle. We're going early. Got an early entry, so I should be back in time. But, you've heard the stories. The last time I stood in front of an Ansel Adams. Yeah. And this is an exhibit that is a never been seen kind of put together one that he did. It's one of his museum exhibits where he chose the pieces that go in it. So, yeah. I'm going tomorrow to that in the morning. We should be back in time, but watch the time. I'll change the time of the start if it looks like I get caught on the ferry and don't make it back in time. I'll change it, but that's what's happening tomorrow night. Yeah, I use tree stuff. Watching Fiona for years. Yes. So, that Tamara, it's really amazing that those are your first fluid art pieces. I just have things, and the bit about the mosquitoes cracked me up. Anyway, so Library Lil is done, like I said, in the tradition of the Tall Tales, and Suzanne Williams wrote that in a way to do that. And Stephen Kellogg has illustrated several Tall Tales. He's done Johnny Appleseed. He did Mike Fink. he did a Paul Bunyan, and his illustrations of tall tales are pretty amazing. And they were always very popular at school with the kids when we would do the tall tale studies. And this is a fun one that I used to use with the students, and to have them rewrite a tall tale and what were the elements and that go into that kind of things. It's a lot of fun. But since I got this as a gift from Larry via snail mail, and snail mail made me feel so good, I had to go with a book for the next one called Snail Mail. And it is by Samantha Berger. And let me see if I can find where she is. That's the iPad. There we go. Here she is. So she writes and writes and writes and writes, and she even wrote this. She's an award-winning author of over 85 books for young readers, including Frankenstein and Rock What You Got and What If. She's also a twice Emmy-nominated television writer. She was editorial director and vice president of animated shorts for Nickelodeon for over a decade, and she currently writes for Sesame Street in Communities and Sesame Street International, taking on the challenging subjects like childhood homelessness, foster care, and the need to educate children about the importance of clean water all over the world. Big issue. The illustrations are by, what's this? Let me think. Let me go back, come on. Going back to my, here, where did it go? What's her name? Why did it just slip out of my head and it's not right in front of me? There we go. Samantha Berger and Julia Patton, that's right. She's an illustrator and designer and creative writer who's been working in art and design for more than 25 years across many design disciplines. And she started as fashion and textile graduate, specializing in embroidery and ceramics at Manchester Metropolitan University. And then she had a freelance greeting card business and has been producing and doing things since that. She also she completed her MA at the University of Edinburgh in illustration. And once I found the power of words and pictures together, I was hooked. And she's now illustrated over 56 titles of children's books. Yes, see, it can be done. It can be done. It is such a wide open field, diverse field, and oh my goodness. She produced a picture book with the writer of Sesame Street, Samantha Berger, called Snail Mail, which I'm going to read tonight. And one of her newest books, The Very, Very, Very Long Dog, was named number 9 on the Kids Indie Next Picks list. Well, that's great. So, bum bum. I think there it is. Here we go. Snail Mail. By Samantha Berger. It's just, I picked it. It's one of those stories, you'll see what it kind of how it means, but it was just such a great feeling. I hope you guys still get that feeling when you open the mail and there's something in there. There's a letter from somebody, or there's a package from somebody, or you've sent something, and it just, that whole experience of opening a letter or reading it is just so great. A long, long time ago, but really not that long, before email and texting, clicking and sending, mail was delivered in a much different way, a much slower way. It was called snail mail. Many suspected it was called snail mail because snails delivered it. Snails like Dale Snail, Gail Snail, Colonel McHale Snail, and Umberto. Although it took much longer, everyone agreed that some things were just a little more special when they were delivered by snail mail. Things like birthday cards, notes to Santa, postcards, and love letters. One such letter was made by a girl who loved a boy. It was a card made with her own hands, written in her own handwriting, and sealed with her own kiss. It even smelled a little bit like her. It had to be delivered by snail mail. The letter had a long way to go. It would start on one side of the country, where the girl lived, and would travel across to the other side, where the boy lived. It was a very big journey, especially for a snail. They knew it would be a challenge. They knew there would be many risks, but when they saw the girl's face as she mailed her letter, they knew they had to try. Dale Snail looked determined. Gale Snail looked ready. Umberto looked like he had been working out. "Snails, take your places," said Colonel McHale Snail. And the 4 snails each slithered underneath a corner of the envelope and carefully lifted it up, barely. "On your marks, get set, go," commanded Colonel McHale Snail. It was a slow-mo go. Slowly, 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 they inched forward. "Remember the snail mail promise," said the colonel. "Neither rain, nor snow, nor heat, nor hail will stop a snail from bringing the mail." They started their journey by crossing the desert. There was bright golden light in the day and a sea of silver stars at night. There were spiky, prickly plants and giant building block rocks. The envelope kept them shaded from the hot sun and protected them from all kinds of curious creatures. Steadily they made their way through red rock canyons with dripping sand castles and rippling dunes. And though they were very, very tired and very thirsty, the whole time they chanted their snail mail motto: "Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor hail will stop a snail from bringing the mail." Next, they trekked over vast mountains and through thick pine groves, past shimmering cool lakes and sweet green meadows. And every day they saw a rainbow, sometimes even a double rainbow. The sunsets were so breathtaking. Even Colonel McHale had tears in his eyes, but he insisted it was only allergies. I love that rainbow and the way how transparent it is. What a great job. And even though their progress was very slow, there was something special about slowing down to look around and notice Las Vegas, California bears, Las Vegas, Yellowstone, Mount Rushmore, Jackson Hole, Slowpoke Lane, what an amazing place the country was. They wound their way through cornfields and crossed flatlands. They used the envelope to surf on the wind and to catch rides with the sparrows. Sometimes it poured, sometimes it blizzarded, sometimes it pelted ice, and sometimes it got blazing hot. Sometimes it did all of those things in one day, but the snails were determined to deliver the mail. And finally, in a giant city down a long, narrow street filled with numbers and letters and sounds and smells and honking and beeping, the snail mail found the boy. The boy opened the envelope and saw the girl's letter. He saw it was made with her own hands, written in her own handwriting, and sealed with her own kiss. It even smelled a little like her. When the snail saw the boy's face as he opened the letter, they knew the journey was worth it. And there was also a letter waiting for them. It was from the United States Snail Mail office. It was written in fancy letters and sealed with a shiny seal. It even smelled official. Inside, they found a letter congratulating them and 4 golden medals for good service. It was something they could have only gotten through snail mail. Neither snow nor rain nor heat nor hail could stop those snails from bringing the mail, so they headed home to tell their tale. Only not so slowly at all, because snail mail finally got an airplane. Yes, and it's just a silly fun. I just love the whole, what I would love about this, and I think it's fun, is that we forget how much fun it is to get letters, and that whole thing about writing them out would be a great book with kids to show that, and plus all the different parts of the country. But I just wanted to share this one because I got special snail mail today and it made me feel grand, and I wanted to pull this book in to go with it. Let's see. There. Yes. Anyway, where's the chat? I lost the chat again. Boo-boo. Comments. There they are. Yay. Kind of these. Oh, I'm glad you come, Kelly. Kelly says it's relaxing, but her phone's ringing off the hook. Yes, it's been fun. It's always so funny when I would read that book about Library Lil. I just dropped it. Oh, oops. I unplugged a light. That's why it went dark. Sorry, you guys. And I would tell the kids about how I couldn't watch television on school nights when I was young and all that stuff. And they all would like, oh, well, maybe that's why you read so much, Mrs. Shepherd. And I'm like, could very well be why I read so much. Yeah, I was kind of like Lil, too, is we had an encyclopedia set at home. And I would actually read the encyclopedia. It was one of those things I enjoyed doing. Kind of crazy, but it was always fun to do, to, see the different things. Yeah. I'll try and resend that book, I think. Oh, yes. That's a good one, Julia. Thank you. Beverly Cleary was your go-to when first discovered books. Beverly Cleary is, I think we just lost her earlier this year. Was it? Yes, she died March 25th of 2021 last year. I remember that. She was amazing. I mean, all the Henry Higgins books, Mouse and the Motorcycle, Dear Mr. Henshaw. She did the Ramona books, all of those. So many books that Beezus and Ramona, Henry. Oh my gosh, the kids, and we still. Even when I retired, we were still using Mouse and the Motorcycle as one of the Battle of the Books every year. And it was when the kids would read sets of, and I had a whole class set of it. And it was just that. And then compare that one with Stuart Little, and they would read back and forth. It was always so much fun. Fun books. Great. So where that? Oh, cancel that. I just want to do. There we go. Okay, I'm just checking here on what everything. 6:30 is Eastern, yeah. No, 6:30 Pacific time. 6:30 Pacific. And okay, cool. There's a link in the giveaway video from Helen showing her calendar. Oh, cool. Thank you. Thanks for putting that link in there, Larry, so we could take a look at it. I hope Mikhail's Navy. Yes, you got the joke. Yes. And see, that's the wonderful thing about children's literature is always littered through it. The illustrators and the writers will put in jokes that are meant to catch the adult who has to read them again and again and again. And you got Mikhail's Navy. Good for you, Larry. Ding, ding. Tim Conway. Oh, you're kidding. Tim Conway Jr.? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's amazing. Snails can read? Who knew? Of course snails can read. Of course. Just, of course. I used to write letters to, Gail says she used to write letters to a boy in New Jersey I met in vacation from Arizona to New Jersey. It was a long way. Yeah. My mom was just, she always wrote letters for everything. And it was always really kind of fun when we would get one when I was in college and she would send me a letter or something like that. And even after she passed a couple of years ago, my sisters and I went through and there were letters that we found that she had, that we've all kept, that she had written to us, and then other things that we'd written to them that she, back to her, that she had kept. And it was always such a fun thing to read that. I saw another book that, it's not a kid's book, but it was about someone who had decided to take emails and turn them into a handwritten kind of letter and different things and send them off instead. And it was really kind of an interesting way to do that. But that's that. Okay, you guys. Homer and Donuts. Yes. Oh, Homer. Oh my gosh. Helen's pulling back all these books. I haven't thought about these. Beezus and Ramona yet. Don't you remember when Ramona had the egg? Do you remember she thought she grabbed a hard-boiled egg for her lunch and it wasn't hard-boiled and she went and smacked it on her head and it fell up. Oh, yes. Oh, all kind of. Yep, then it got that first. Oh. All right, you guys. I got down there. I saw that I finally caught up with the chat. You guys get going so fast. I can hardly see. I sent a letter a couple weeks ago. Oh my goodness. Really? Yeah. I think, you know what? We should all challenge ourselves to pick somebody that we haven't sent a letter to in a long time, or send one, even if it's, to our sister or brother like that. Oh, I think that would be a fun thing to do. I'll probably doodle all over it. That's probably what will happen. But, yeah. All right, you guys, keep your fingers crossed that my new hard drive gets here. It will. I ordered it from Glazers. They send it right away here in Seattle. Yay. They had one, they had a heavy-duty rugged one. And so I'm not even going to try to worry about getting the crashed hard drive back before I go to Africa. That was just, plus since it crashed, I just lost total faith in it, which was like, okay, I'm not taking that one. Everything else, fingers crossed, going along, and yeah, I keep checking off my things, and you guys keep me centered and balanced here. And we're down to 11 days to go. And then you'll have a couple weeks of recorded shows from me, which are all in the books and all ready for you. But until then, I'm still coming on every night, and just I'll be here, should be here tomorrow night at 6:30 Pacific. But if for any reason I miss that the ferry that would get me here in time, I'll get in and I'll switch the time to later, because that's the way it goes when you're catching the ferry. I'm gonna catch the ferry because it's in downtown Seattle at Lake Union. Mohi is in downtown Seattle at Lake Union. There is a ferry that goes from Bremerton to downtown Seattle. And it is much more relaxing to drive to Bremerton, get on the ferry, and then just be in downtown Seattle. It may take me a little, probably about the same amount of time, rather than do Seattle traffic all the way in, which would be brutal. Not so fun. Besides, the whales have been seen cruising, so maybe I'll see whales. Anyway, until the next time, you guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for inviting me into your home and for coming into my studio and into the Story Circle and sharing these books with me. I love it. Thank you so much, Larry, for the gift and that I got to share with all of you. It's just such a blessing. And until next time, you guys, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around. You'll find it first if you go look in the mirror. And I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sound. Feel alright, we won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars on the boulevard, there is the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need
Full bubble
no
up.
I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. We could be famous. You blow my mind, looking like a model, better than usual. Yeah, you don't even try, like amateur typical. I put you on a pedestal. There's not just stars on the boulevard, there is the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards, I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow.
When she catches the ferry.
Me feeling starstruck too.
Oh my goodness.
We could be famous.
Larry's jokes.
We could be
They just keep me chuckling for like the next hour. Tinkerbell needs fresh air.
We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. We could be famous. We could be famous. We could be famous.
Night, everybody.